Hello fellow LEGO addicts, I hope you're all doing well. I certainly am. It's a beautiful day today, like the sun is shining, the sky is blue, it's fantastic. So I am very cheerful indeed. We have gathered here today to talk about this fantastic new release in one of my favourite themes that LEGO is doing these years. It is the Lunar New Year Ice Festival, and it is so pretty! So this is part of one of my favourite lineups that LEGO has been doing recently. I am a huge fan of the Chinese New Year line. Pretty much anything they come out with in that line is just so full of detail, so full of joy, so full of minifigures, which I love. I have a serious weakness for minifigures, and this is no exception, though it's very different to last year. I think last year possibly may have been a mild peak in the season, just because that lineup obviously brought us a modular like Chinese festival garden thing, spring lantern festival, that just fitted right into your city, which is obviously a super great bestseller and looked fantastic. It's still one of my favourite sets, and I still currently have it in my city, though in the Ninjago section. This is not modular or made to go into a city, however, it is stunning in its own right. So let's just dive straight into the review because I would love to talk about this with you all. This was obviously super high on my wish list. I actually really love New Year's tradition set as well. The only reason I haven't got that one yet is just because I'm kind of keeping something back for like another month when there's a cool promo that I want maybe and I don't know what else to buy. Out of the two sets that have been released this year, replacing the Story of Nyan and the Spring Lantern Festival, there is this one and the New Year's Traditions. This set does not have stickers. I think that is probably a really good thing to put up right there. This will sway a lot of people, no doubt. It does not have stickers, and it has a bunch of really pretty unique new prints. So I think the Chinese New Year sets always come with a really strong lineup of printed pieces. There's always some new designs. They will probably go really well in anywhere into your city, but these in particular are really beautiful. We have a sign at the front by the ice rink about the temperature and sort of like announcing it to be an ice rink. There is a beautifully printed tile with ice skaters above the shop, as well as the little shop sign here that says that there's ice skates to rent, and then there's the printed tiles and also the printed like tiger lanterns. Last year we had the printed ox lanterns. This year, obviously the year of the tiger, we've got those. And obviously, as this is the year of the tiger, we have our tiger minifigure. Last year we had the ox minifigure, but that one came in the Story of Nyan, which I didn't get. There is a bunch of minifigures, and if you have been getting these sets for a few years in a row, you may start to recognise some of the families in here, because generally every year the same minifigures kind of appear as previously. I think I noticed that with the Spring Lantern Festival last year because I recognised them from the Temple Fair, and this year is no exception. This set in itself is really stunning, and actually, whereas with some sets you will find that when you start building a set it's kind of a little bit of a setup, like the first few bags are like creating a structure, which isn't always the most interesting of builds. Actually, because of the way this set has been designed, those steps are really super enjoyable, just because you're kind of learning some new techniques onto how to incorporate those really beautiful ice panels that you get in the set. There is some really nice detail work, and because this whole structure is brick build, it's just a kind of a masterclass in making little dioramas. My only probably criticism on the whole diorama thing that this set is obviously the back of this set is kind of just like, it's basically like they cut and sawed down the middle and that's where it ends. Like the back of this is completely flat, so it looks beautiful from the front, but then at the back it's just completely flat. And this building is just flat, there's no detail there. Obviously you put people on the ice slide here, and there's the back of this lovely photo picture thing. I would have really loved to have been slightly more detailed just on that side. I'm sure there's various considerations about brick amount and whatever, keep it at the same price level, but I would have really enjoyed it to be slightly more 3D. And the same goes for the side of this build here, which is open. Again, it's super easily fixed, like it's not a problem, but you can see in this building. One of my favourite things that you do build into this set though, and I hadn't really seen before with LEGO, is there is a little really interesting drawer built into the set which holds like extra ice skates and skiing and snow boot equipment. Because there is a little drawer, you have a place to keep them so you don't lose them, which I thought was a really fantastic design feature. As usual, which I started noticing with LEGO, and I don't know how long they've been doing this, I'd never really purposely noticed before, but as usual there is a really fun little mini build in the first bag. For this set it is the penguin like ice slider thing. I've just noticed that like Lego seems to always put like a mini build in the first bag, so if you're building this with a child, they can kind of build that little build and then probably start playing straight away, whereas like older people will continue building. So I think that's a really nice design and a really good thing to do, because it basically gets you straight into the build and it gets you really excited for what's to come, and it will keep the little ones entertained whilst you're building the rest, so they kind of get to play straight away. They don't have to wait. As I said, the build was really enjoyable. There was detail in every nook and cranny, which is very on brand for Lego, which I always appreciate. I really enjoyed that they actually still put fish under the ice, which is just fantastic. And then obviously there's the ice fishing hole as well. The panels that actually create the ice are so beautiful, and depending on what time of day you're building this set, they will look like a different colour. So at the minute where I'm sitting, the panels look pretty like purple bluish, but like depending on the angle at the moment with the proper light, Ben just in the background, depending on the angle with the proper light, they will be blue or they will just be kind of yellow see-through-y. It depends a little bit, because they're the new pearlescent pieces, which are just stunning. I have to say, I really love those. In general, I found one of the best things of this build to be this tree design. I thought it was a really strong look. I definitely would like to see if I can make this into a summer tree as well, because maybe I want to put in a few more places in the city. It's just a really effective but finished design for a tree, and I find personally tree building is just one of the hardest things in Lego, just because it's such an organic shape. It's quite hard to kind of get the right level of details without it feeling too blocky, and I think this really achieves that. As a complete fan of minifigures and having a massive weakness for them, I love the Chinese New Year sets because they just come with such a vast lineup of them. There are some really fun new torsos in this set, some torsos that I haven't got that many of. I really especially like the ice fishers. Orange snow hat I think is beautiful. I was particularly impressed with the interior of this little building. I really thought that the way that they basically created that little space but with so much detail and even tiles inside was just beyond the level of detail I was expecting. I really enjoyed that there's like a little bit of an ice skate sharpener machine, and there is the minifigure I can stand in. There's still studs inside so they can still stand up, and honestly, I really thought that was so fantastic. And then on the roof there is a extraction fan slash aircon heating thing, which I thought was a really nice little detail. And overall, I felt this was such an effective build. One of my favourite things they did is using the roller skate pieces to create detail in the walls. That was such a fun technique. Obviously, another massive star of the set is this fantastic ice piece, centre focus of the set, and the ice slide. There is two criticisms I have of this set, which is I would really like anything that is actually not translucent to be translucent. You know, there is a few, as you can see, pieces that are just white and not that blue colour. I would have really appreciated if that was different, just because they feel a little bit out of place. I'm sure there's something to do with the strength of the pieces that they didn't, but overall I just felt like they were slightly breaking the illusion. But I'm really excited that we're getting to see so many of the new translucent pieces. I've been told that they've switched to a different type of material to create their translucent pieces, which means that it's much more moldable, and therefore we're seeing new elements as translucent. So this is a fantastic example, and I definitely enjoyed building it. The only thing I would say about this structure is that it definitely looks better in person than it does on camera or pictures. I was quite apprehensive about what it looked like in some pictures, and I wasn't sure if I was going to like it, but actually in person it looks fantastic. It's just one of those, like, depending on what colour is behind it, obviously it changes what it looks like. So depending on where you put it, it is a little bit tricky. If you're planning on integrating this into your city, you'll be pleased to know that the way it's built, you can just put it onto a base plate or onto some more plates, because all of it is like at the right angle. You know, unlike my recent review that I did of the castle in the forest, that is at an odd angle, which wouldn't allow you to attach it to anything else, but this one is still at the correct angle, so you could just attach it to a base plate and swap it straight into your city. Just bear in mind when you do put it into your city, at the back obviously there is that cut off, so there's a flat edge. So if it's like sitting against a fence or sitting against some rock pieces or whatever, it won't matter that the back is a bit flat. But if you wanted to have this sit like in your main square in the middle of town, you may want to kind of create some detail at the back too, but that shouldn't be too hard because you can just get some white pieces for it. Overall, my favourite few pieces in this set are definitely the two penguins. So you get a normal penguin that can slide down the slide, And then there is like an ice sculpture penguin, which is super adorable, and I absolutely loved it. As I said, there were some really good minifigure details, and as I like to dress the minifigures in my city in weather appropriate and season appropriate clothes, this set is a fantastic one to have for more winter torsos. So in the UK, this is priced at £90, which is the same as the Spring Lantern Festival, and I think you get a really good amount of bricks for that money. I think it's a fantastic value for money, and then again, a really, really fun build. Yes, it may not be quite integrated into the modular with the pavement and everything ready, but you can definitely convert it into one, and the size of it is really very impressive and could form a really good centerpiece for any sort of winter scene that you're doing in your city. I am super excited to still get the New Year's tradition set from the same line that came out this year. I do know though that that one does have a lot of stickers to create some of the detail and memories. Personally, I don't mind stickers too much, but I just thought I'd just put it out in this video just in case anybody's contemplating getting this one or the other one. This one is the one without the stickers, and the other one does have the stickers. And I think having no stickers and having all these unique printed pieces is really just a massive plus for this set, because it means that there's at no point during the build you get that interruption of now you have to attach the stickers, which is always really, really good. In a way, I'm really sad that I've got to build it now, because now I have to wait another year to see the next lineup, but as usual, it was a very, very strong set, and this set actually inspired me to start thinking about doing Millsified park editions. So I'm going to have like a spring, summer, autumn, winter one, and potentially some specific seasons as well that I can swap out in the middle of the city, so I get to update the city for different seasons, because I really thought this was so beautiful, but I don't want this out in the city all the time. It would be a perfect thing that I can bring out in like sort of December time and then take out at the end of January, the end of February, depending, to have a winter city, because that would be so much fun. So overall, I think this is a fantastically strong set. So many cool elements in this, a really good brick pack as well, really fun colours, and another really strong set in this lineup. If you liked any of the previous ones, I'm sure you're going to enjoy this one. And if you just want a really good winter themed set, this is the one for you. It's good value for money, and there is just some stunning paths to be had. I'm sure you will enjoy the experience. Let me know what you thought of the set in the comments if you've had your hands on it. If you don't have it already, are you planning on picking this up? Is there any sets in this theme that you're after? What do you think is the best set from this theme so far? I'd love to know. Alrighty guys, I think I'll leave it there. Thank you so very much for coming to the channel and listening to my thoughts on all of these sets. I've really enjoyed talking about like some of my favourite LEGO sets, and there's plenty of content coming still. I'll be talking about the City of Lantern set very soon, because that is one set to talk about for sure. Then there'll be plenty of city update vlogs, there are some light kits on the way, there are plenty of updates to be made, and don't forget my medieval project. Sadly, I didn't have that much time to work on it previously, but I am planning some dedicated space and time towards it, so I'm really, really excited, because there's going to be some cool mocks that I'm going to be doing there, and I've got some extra pieces for that on the way, so that should be happening soon. So stay tuned, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one, guys. Hello! Bye! Don't be suspicious, don't be suspicious, don't be suspicious, don't be suspicious. Whoa! It's okay. That is precarious, Jaha. Let's not have this fall on the floor, shall we? That would not be... I mean, that's a theme in LEGO. I dropped it on the floor.